afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Lunch with Dodie. We have a real special guest today. I'm really excited. Jennifer Bagley with Bright Minds Hearing. And that was formerly Advanced Hearing. That's right.
Yes.
And we had been working with Stephanie, and she sold the business to
Scott Austin.
Yeah. Well, Jennifer, tell us a little bit about you and Bright Minds Hearing. We're very excited to have this new partnership with you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm happy to be able to provide service and continued hearing health care for our senior members, and especially in Silverton. We have many patients that are from your area, and just love it. It just seems like such a great place to live.
It's a lot of fun. It's a great community.
Well, it's even more fun if you can hear better. And that's why we're here. It's such an integral part of our good health and our brain health, because it's not just our ears that hear, it's our brain. And so the more we can stimulate our brain with better hearing, the better off we will be, and the less tired. It's very tiresome to have a hearing loss and trying to fill in the blanks and play crossword puzzle all day long can be tiring.
Wow. I love that idea too, of better hearing helps with brain health.
Yes.
That's one of our series we've been looking at and doing a little bit on Tuesday afternoons, is healthy brain activities and brain health, because I think that's something we all can do and need, and can do it at home on our own, So great. That's another
Yes.
nice thing to learn.
As a hearing instrument specialist, I have helped people to individualize and also to personalize their hearing experience, because everyone's hearing is different and everyone's ears are different. So it's a very personal experience. We at Bright Minds Hearing take pride in our service and helping people hear their very best. It's a rewarding career to have.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing this for 7 years. I started in college as an audiology and speech pathology major, and went through some master's degree programs in speech pathology. At the time, I didn't care for the audiology department in the basement, but actually my skills are better set for math, and working with adjustments of hearing is just right up my alley, having
That's
done that
awesome.
for many years.
Yeah, great.
Scott, our owner, has 35 years of experience.
Awesome.
And we have an audiologist on staff, and she has very many hours, very many years and years of experience.
So right now you're located in Salem on Center Street.
Yes, over by Target.
Okay. I think Advanced Hearing had an office here in Silverton too.
Okay.
Are you guys going to have an office in Silverton or just in Salem?
No, Scott would like to concentrate on just having one office. In the past, he had 13 different offices.
Yeah.
And then retired 7 years ago, but now is back from what he calls pre-retirement or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, he's just wanting a small office, 3 people with our audiologist, and keep things simple and focus on people first.
A couple of our members, which will remain nameless, recommended you for especially since Advanced Hearing was, no longer, and you guys are here. Even going to Salem, it's not far to drive, but have had really great things to say about your business.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. Yeah, it's a joy. It's a joy working with people.
Well, you seem to have a good knack for it.
Yeah, well, most people are pretty good eggs, as we say.
Well, and I am looking forward to, when we can and we're able to, being more involved with you guys, doing some hearing screenings here.
We're being very careful about COVID right now, and we're sanitizing in between each appointment and keeping appointments spread out so that there isn't a lot of contact between different people. Most of the time, if a husband and wife come in, they are already exposed to each other, and so that's not a problem.
Right.
But we are very careful, and we do have our masks, and we are very careful about sanitizing after each appointment. Now, the mask as we see,
Mhm.
is very difficult for people with hearing loss to understand and talk to one another
Right.
because, believe it or not, as we lose our hearing, a gradual loss, our eyes do some of the uh, lip reading for us, and we depend on those kinds of nonverbal expression to understand what's going on. So the masks have made it quite challenging. And for people that wear hearing aids, the masks are also challenging because we've had some people lose their hearing aids when they're putting their mask or taking their mask off.
Hmm.
Most hearing aids, when bought, do have a warranty for 3 years, which includes a replacement of the hearing aids. But yes, the masks are certainly challenging. Recently, Scott ordered some of these devices that go behind your head. And this is a nice device in that it doesn't interfere with your hearing aids. And so you can put the mask on and have this. Oh, hello. Basically, your ears are free. You know, your hearing aids aren't being
Yeah.
affected.
Right.
So yes, we have plenty of these to give away and
That's
are
great.
hoping that people will come in for hearing screenings and get one of these to help them with their masks.
That's a great invention to help do that.
Well, if you're also wearing glasses,
Mhm.
that can interfere with your hearing aid because they've got the mask wire, the glasses, and the hearing aids
Yep.
if they're behind the ear. Now, some people wear a custom hearing aid like this one that goes directly into their ear. This is a super good solution for hearing and not having to worry about masks. There are some advantages to having hearing aids that go behind your ear in that they are Bluetooth capable. That means they connect with your phone. So not only can you listen to programs on your phone,
Yeah.
like YouTube or
Yeah.
TV or, taking phone calls, it goes right into the hearing devices. So very high tech and wonderful
Do you have to switch
advances.
channels, or does it just automatically come on
It
like the radio?
automatically,
Radio.
yeah,
You have
when
to.
you turn on the YouTube or the program that's on your phone, it automatically goes into your hearing aids.
That's cool.
I know, we don't call them hearing aids anymore. They're hearing instruments.
Yeah. So if you were out and about and somebody else was watching YouTube or something, would your hearing aids pick up on that?
No, it wouldn't pick up on anybody else's Bluetooth. It's
Okay.
only connected to your phone, and I help people connect their hearing devices to their phones. This technology has been around for about 4 years,
Mhm.
but there are many advances, and as we have new phones like the iPhone 12, goodness gracious, the technology with the hearing aids are keeping up with the phone developments.
That makes sense because I know I have seen different telecommunication programs out there for folks who have had like hearing issues and how to communicate with a phone. And that makes sense to have your hearing aids go right into the system like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
another wonderful thing is there are two or maybe more than two companies that provide um, phones. They have a transcription on
Right,
them.
right.
One company is called Caption Call.
Okay.
These particular phones have already been paid for by tax dollars, and someone with a hearing aid or hearing loss can qualify for a free phone system that helps them to not only hear the conversation, but see the conversation as well. There are services through the government also for people who are employed who have a hearing loss, and that hearing loss is considered a disability. This meaning that they may qualify for support in hearing better so that they can work and be promoted in their work and not have hearing hold them back or lack of hearing hold them back.
That's great, Jennifer. Well, you mentioned taking us on a little tour of your office.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see how this goes. A tour on Zoom. Here we go. Now, This office here is our workroom, and I'll be coming back to this room in a few minutes. So let's go out into the hallway and start at the front door. This is fun. Thanks for joining today. Now, as Dodie said, our office is located over by Target, and as you can see, we have a Christian bookstore and lens crafters and furniture store and a new place called Drizzle. There's also some other stores down the road here. But here is Bright Minds Hearing and our entryway. And so let's open the door and come inside for a tour. Scott, our owner, he has beautifully remodeled the office. It's clean, it's wonderful. And so as you can see, this is our entryway. And so we'll come on back into the hallway. Our first room that we'll be visiting today is our triage center. And this is a place that we come in and we have a camera right here that can look inside of the ear canal. And so as you can see, right now I'm pointing toward the computer, but if we were to go inside an ear, you would see the inside of your ear. This is great for checking whether somebody has some wax or something else that might be blocking them from hearing better. Here's a picture of the auricle or the ear, the organs of the ear. And an interesting thing about your ear canal is that it is about the size of the second knuckle from here to here. This is the length, about an inch from the outside to the inside, which is where your eardrum is. Now we'll go to our second room. And this is our testing room. So in here we have a testing booth, as well as we'll be asking questions about your hearing or challenges, and then have a test. This is an interesting poster that I wanted to show you, and this shows that there are symptomatic similarities of Alzheimer's disease and hearing loss. Sometimes people have been misdiagnosed. They only had a hearing loss, and actually they had the symptoms of Alzheimer's, of depression or reduced communication ability and impaired memory, which was considered, which was actually just not being able to hear very well. And so hearing, as I said, is very important to our brain health. Now, the next office we would visit is our programming room, and this is where we introduce people to new hearing, or we're able to adjust their hearing. Mm-hmm. And I had an example brought up, which I'd like to put up again on our TV here. I like to involve the patient with programming the hearing aids and make it more personal. Now, as you can see, or maybe you can't, this is a hearing test, and it's just a general test that I made up for today's purpose. This is considered a moderate to severe hearing loss. And this looks like an age-related hearing loss. Mm-hmm. We start to lose our hearing most times, most in our 40s, and it tends to decline, especially in higher frequency sounds. And also, these sounds are not voiced. P, T, K, S, F, and TH are a lot of the, many of the sounds that are difficult for people with a higher frequency hearing loss to hear. They're very important because they're either at the beginning or the end of a word and make a lot of difference in our understanding. Now, as I pull into the programming, this is an example of our programming. So we have these two hearing aids that happen to be rechargeable, wonderful option. These just go in a charger at night, and you don't have to put batteries in them each week. And so this is an example of a new hearing aid made by Oticon. And this small device right here is the speaker that goes inside your ear. And then this part goes behind your ear. Now in the programming, this is where I can make different changes to help a person hear better. And hearing is a gradual process of acclimation. We have to start, or we don't. Some people have a philosophy of starting a person at 100% their prescription. Well, that's quite loud. I prefer to start somebody comfortably and then move them into better hearing as we go. It's not something that happens overnight. It's actually a process. And so this poster shows a group of people at a dinner table, and this can be a challenging environment for someone to hear in. With COVID, we haven't had a lot of these kind of opportunities, but one thing that's important about the hearing aids we recommend is that they allow people to decide what or who they would like to attend to, not just the person they're looking at when they're in noise, which has been a traditional hearing aid in the past. And that is quite limiting. We like people to be able to use their brain to decipher and decide who it is that they'd like to listen to. And this makes us more active. And as I said, this room, again, is our work room. And this is where we repair hearing aids and help people to hear better as well. So that was your tour.
That was awesome.
Okay.
I loved your charts. I really was impressed with that. I had a couple questions. How many versus hearing screenings and hearing tests versus hearing aids? You do primarily focus on hearing aid repair, but do you see all ages for hearing tests?
Yes, it's important in our, like when we hit 60, that's a great time to have your hearing tested. And not only tested, but just screened. It only takes 5 or 10 minutes to come in and see where you're at. That way, once a year or every so often, you can actually have that bench guard to compare to.
Right.
And to continue protecting your hearing, it's good to know where you're at so that you can do that, because even 85 decibels from a lawnmower at 15 minutes can cause damage. We have to continue to be careful.
I recently had done some research or had some information presented to me about for sleeping, white noise versus pink noise. I had never heard the word pink noise before, but how do you feel about those types of things? I mean, especially for sleeping. How does somebody hearing it? I mean, how does that work?
Well, some people have, when they acquire a hearing loss, they have what's called tinnitus, and it's a ringing or a bell sound in their ears. This can be an indication of having a hearing loss, or most of the time. And I will say that hearing aids do mask that sound. Some people play a fan at night to give themselves more rest. That's true. And one time I interviewed a gentleman in Tigard from a steel company, and he would go to a saltwater swimming pool and do somersaults to get rid of, it had to be saltwater, to get rid of his tinnitus for a couple of months. So, you know, it's different for many different people, but most of the time just hearing aids, reacquiring the sounds that they're missing, calls the dogs off, in a sense. The brain stops sending those messages that it knew, hey, I used to hear those sounds before, I'm going to recreate those sounds, boom, 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 boom. It can be very annoying, and for the most part, if you don't have hearing instruments, you have to learn to ignore those sounds. Well, like the refrigerator running, or an annoying train that's near our home going by. Eventually, we learn to ignore those sounds.
Right. Actually, when you said that about the gentleman swimming in salt water, many years ago, my brother and his family went to Hawaii for a vacation. And he came back and he had a lot of vertigo, and was really having some issues. And they finally found out he had what they called swimmer's ear from swimming in the ocean. In the salt water, some of the sand had gotten into his ear. And
Uh-oh.
wasn't bugging him all the time, but every so often something would kick in, and the sand in his ear would cause him to have vertigo and everything. And I had
Oh.
never heard of swimmer's ear before.
These are the kind of things we look for when someone comes in. Is we have to decide whether we're going to, whether it's something a doctor can actually attend to, if there's a surgery or something a medicine that might help them with their hearing loss, then we would send them to a doctor if they have one of 13 different warning signs, such as drainage, vertigo, dizziness, also unilateral hearing loss or a sudden hearing loss or pain in their ears. There are many things that we would recommend somebody see a specialist for. But for the most part, people just have a hearing loss.
It's a general aging process.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people are in denial, and I will say that it often takes, on average, 7 years for somebody to recognize that they actually have a hearing loss and want to do something about it. Yeah, it's better to come in sooner and take care of it sooner. It helps the brain adjust more quickly, and you don't lose any time. The longer they wait, the longer a person waits, the harder it is a little bit. But again, if we take the time to rehabilitate them, then they'll have success with hearing aids.
So should they get a hearing screening every year?
It's a good idea.
Every year?
Yes, every year. Yes.
And if you have hearing aids, you should still.
Yes, even with hearing aids, because even with hearing aids, if your hearing has changed at all, we can adjust the hearing aids or decide if it's something else that's going on.
I was very impressed with your chart on how Alzheimer's and hearing loss have so many similarities.
Right.
And I could see where people with a hearing loss might come across as having some dementia or Alzheimer's because they're not hearing everything, so they're not responding appropriately, or like you said, it could cause confusion or cognitive issues.
And withdrawal.
Oh, social isolation is a biggie right now.
Oh, yeah.
With COVID and everybody's we're socially isolated here. I really struggle with it myself.
We were talking about tinnitus, and there are several different things that can trigger tinnitus. One being loud sounds, but also some things are dietary, such as coffee or wine or these kinds of things.
Oh.
Other times it's a matter of stress. Stress can trigger tinnitus. So it's important that we stay calm. Wow. Especially these days.
Right. Has this impacted your business a lot? Have you had a lot of less clients because of COVID, or have you seen?
No, we are still helping a lot of people, and we're hoping to meet more. It's interesting that no, it has not affected our business.
That's great. I worry about some of the service businesses, service organizations, because even though all of this is still going on, your services are greatly needed.
Yes.
It's not like hearing's going to just all of a sudden go away. People are not going to have hearing loss, or we're not going to have the aging process and have our hearing affected. So you've made some adaptations, it sounds like, with the masks and social distancing. So
yes, we're very, very careful about it, and we sanitize with Clorox and other types of sanitizers to make sure that everyone is safe.
That's great. Well, honestly, this has been awesome.
Dodie, are you going to come in for a hearing test sometime?
I probably should, and yes, I will. Usually
we're hoping to get over and see you at Senior Center when you're open.
Oh, I can't wait. Jennifer, Bright Minds Hearing, you're at 3856 Center Street Northeast in Salem. And the phone number is 503-589-9844. What are your hours basically? Monday through Friday, or?
Yes, Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 5:30. every day. We can see people over after hours if they're not able to get in.
Oh, that's an awesome thing to know. So are you able to have walk-ins, or should they all make appointments first?
It's important right now to be able to talk to people on the phone. So yes, if they can call, that's the best thing. There you are.
There.
That's it.
See, it
Yeah.
looks backwards to me, but I know it's right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It is.
So
Yeah.
make sure if you have any hearing issues or questions, or screening or hearing aids, maintenance. I know you do maintenance, cleaning, repair.
Yes. Yes.
You're full service.
All of the above.
Thank you so much for joining us today with
My
Lunch with
pleasure.
Dodie every Fridays at noon. And even if you're not a special guest, please join us just so we can connect and reconnect and have a better social outcome. Thank you, Jennifer.
Very nice.
And everybody
Thank
have a
you.
great Friday. Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.